Hello Internet, Colorful Arty is back for another episode of Lemmings. In the last episode we completed a huge chunk of the tricky levels, and in this episode we're going to start delving into the meaty parts of the game. That's right, we're on level 15, Ozone Friendly Lemmings, and surprise, it's the first level again. However, it's not going to be nearly as easy, because this is the part of the game where the game really starts getting hard. Because it's the same level that we've done before, but we're gonna have to solve it in a much different way. We still have 10 lemmings. We actually have to save 60% this time, and you're gonna see what's up. Yep, there are no diggers, only bombers. Do the math. We're gonna have to bomb clean through the floor. So this is where we're entering the chunk of the game where we start repeating levels from fun, but with tricky solutions to them. And a lot of them involve walking bombing, because you'll notice we don't even have blockers, we just have bombers. Yeah, and also it gives you 5, but if you use 5, you actually will not be able to beat the level, because 5 lemmings will have died, and 5, which means only 5 lemmings will actually make it to the exit, and 5 tenths is 50%, and we have to save 60%, so we can actually only use 4 of them. So what I recommend doing, bomb the first lemming right there, bomb the second lemming right there, bomb the third lemming right there. And that should be enough to get them through. Yep. So that was Ozone Friendly Lemmings. And that's... the levels are only getting harder. That one was pretty easy. We only needed to use free bombers because we let them walk for a bit. Basically, if you want lemmings to blow a hole through the floor with bombers, make the lemmings bombers in more or less the same place, just each new lemming let them take like 1 extra step or 2 extra steps. The next level is going to be a good bit harder. It's Lovely Jubbly, which is level 5. You'll need bashers this time. However, actually we will have 1 basher, but that's not going to be enough. So 50 lemmings got to save 80%. So let's look. We've got 1 basher, 1 miner, and 10 bombers. This is one actually of the tougher walking bombing levels, because what we're going to do is, we have only 1 basher. We need to use that wisely. And there are 1, 2, 3 things we need to bash through. So what we can do is, if we use the miner, we can mine into this pole and then use the basher, and we'll actually bash all the way through this and through the crystal wall. And then we're going to use bombers to blow through this fence to get to the exit. So this is actually one of the tougher levels of tricky, I would say. Also, the lemmings come out a lot faster here than they did in the fun version. So yeah, we're mining into the pole, and then we can just bash straight through the pole. So that's a clever little trick. Definitely need to remember that. Also, what's interesting about this game is that the tougher versions of these levels were the ones that were made first, and then they realized, oh shoot, we don't have any like easy levels, so they basically took a huge chunk of the levels they made in the game that were hard and used them for fun. So because we're bombing horizontally, we're gonna make them bombers quite a bit further apart. Like that. Because they have to walk a wee bit farther in order to bomb through the fence. Alright, I think 1 more bomber ought to do it. Oh no. I hope I didn't blow too many of them up. I can't remember how many % I needed. But yeah, so that level is actually pretty tough. Mainly because of the horizontal walking bombing. I do not like walking bombing, I will say. Because it's not hard, it just basically forces you to repeat levels over and over again until you know the exact pixel perfect place in order to set the bomber off. Oh, and speaking of exact pixel perfect place to bomb the bomber off, it's level 17, Diet Lemonade. This is a task for blockers and bombers, except... surprise! We have 2 bombers, the exact amount needed to beat the game. Not the game, this is level. So you can bomb the first lemming anywhere you darn well please. Now to get through that, we're going to bomb the lemming right before they reach halfway through this. So right there. Was that perfect or what? So yeah, the second half of Tricky is basically walking bombing the game. Oh yeah. This is where I think the game starts getting really interesting, because you get to see familiar and like fun levels again, but this time you get to solve them in a completely new and awesome way. And this next level is pretty awesome, one of my favorites. It's Lemon Gentry, Watson. That's kind of a mouthful. 10 lemmings, we can only kill 1. 50 release rate and 5 minutes. So just take a look at our skills here. We only have 1 floater, and that's splat height. We have a digger, so we could dig down to cut the fall, but we won't have any way to get through the rest of this because we don't have any bashers. But we do have a bomber. So what we want to do is we want to make this lemming a digger right before he reaches the edge of this part of the pillar. So right about there. I think that's perfect. 1 lemming will escape his pit. He's going to be our floater. And actually those 2 builders are red herrings. Like, they have no purpose on the level. Oh, I love this music. So now we have to bomb the digger. Make sure you bomb the digger, otherwise you're gonna kill 2 lemmings. You're gonna kill the lemming who you bombed, and the digger will continue on digging. Yeah, and that will blow clean through that wall, and the lemmings can walk to safety. That is an amazing level. I love it so much. That is such an ingenious solution, but it's also really simple in theory. Alright, so this next level is also pretty famous. It's the postcard from Lemmingland. There are 50 lemmings, and we have to save every single one of them. So this is the builder tutorial. If you remember, we could build up this ledge and over that ledge. So that only takes 2 builders. However, surprise, surprise, the game only gives us 1. So this is probably one of the most famous levels of Lemmings, because this is the part of the game where pretty much every beginner or Lemmings player got stuck on this level. Because you use pretty much all of your skills. You only have to use 1 climber and 1 floater. So what we're gonna have to do, we only have 1 builder, so we have to figure out, do we want to use the builder to get up there, or do we want to use the builder to get over the pit? The answer is you want to use the builder to get over the pit, because if there's a place like that where it's just like you have to get up to the top of a ledge, you can always use a miner in reverse to cut off that portion of it. Oh! I just realized you don't even need the basher for this level. I never knew that. Alright, so what you want to do, make this guy an athlete. Not just a climber, make him an athlete. You will heavily regret it if you don't. Just trust me on this. You need to make an athlete. So what we're going to do, actually, we're going to dig right at the edge of this pit. And I'll explain the reasons why in just a bit. So we dig at the very edge, and what we want to do is make him a builder right there. So he is going to build up to this ledge, and the lemmings are going to be able to walk up the bridge to the exit, but he has to dig for a low enough point so that way he'll hit his head and turn around. So at this point, he's going to climb, he could climb back up there, and we could use a miner to cut through this, which will give the lemmings an extra boost. Or what I thought you had to do, I thought you had to make him a miner right there, and then make him bash all the way over there. I'm going to use the more elegant solution. So, can you guys tell why I made him a miner, or an athlete? Because he's going to have to climb up that pillar, and if he's not an athlete, he's going to splat. Also, we have to mine in just the right place, like right about here. Because if we make him mine too early, he's going to keep on mining for that. Oh, that's not going to be enough. They're not going to... Dang it. Aw, man. Replay. Even Lemmings experts aren't exempt from the difficulty of this level. Alright, so I tried doing that version of the solution. If you had in mind just a bit earlier, then they all would have escaped. I'm going to do the solution that I am familiar with, which is... So he hits his head, turns around. we're gonna have a mine here. And basically, once he gets to the point where he's at the same level as the bottom of this pit, he's gonna start bashing. So that's right there. So now he's gonna bash through this. All the Lemmings will go through the tunnel, up the miner tunnel, up the bridge, into the exit. And then the Mr. Athlete here is going to climb up this pillar, hit his head on the ceiling, and float down to safety. Pretty amazing level right there. This is probably one of the first truly puzzling levels in the game. The last level I know is like the first puzzle. But I love levels like this, where they seem really complicated, but they've got like really ingenious solutions, and it doesn't require a ton of like accuracy. My main problem with the Lemmings custom level packs is that the designers just make it so you need ridiculous amounts of precision. And in Lemini and Super Lemini, you can demand that reasonably, but it's still annoying. Alright, level 20 is unbelievably easy. It's one-way digging to freedom. I don't know why this level wasn't before menacing, to be honest. So we've got 100 Lemmings, we can kill 5. And we've actually got quite a few skills at our disposal. Okay, I'm serious. The solution to this level, we bash through this, we pull a keep your hair on Mr. Lemming for this arrow wall, and that's it. The only tricky part of this level is making sure you put your blockers not on the thin paths. That's literally the only trick there is to beat this level. So like if you put your blocker right here, and then you blow him up, he's gonna blow clean through the floor. That's the only tricky part of this level. I don't know why they put this level after all of the insane repeats. Also, the next level is an utter joke. I guess they were giving us a few briefer levels because the last few levels were a bit more difficult than anything we'd seen up to this point. Rondo alla turca. I love the sound of a ton of Lemmings entering the hatch all at the same time. Boing, 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 boing. Alright, level 21's also pretty famous. It's all the 6s. 66 Lemmings, 66% to be saved, 66 release rate, and 6 minutes to do it. Yeah, this level also got banned from several versions of the game because of the reference to the beast's number. 666 is the devil's number. You probably shouldn't bring this up. Also, we have 66 of every task. So, because of this, this level is ridiculously easy. Also, I forgot to mention, all of the special levels in Lemmings got banned from some versions. And they got replaced with just kind of normal levels. And I learned, actually, I did some digging. The bonus levels, interestingly enough, but other than the Apple computer level, which I have no idea what the heck that's doing there, the rest of the levels are the levels that replaced the special levels and all the 6s in the other versions of Lemmings. So they're basically like the forgotten lost levels of Lemmings. There's also a few levels that were in the demo only. So I actually will be playing the bonus levels for your guys' entertainment after the Mayhem levels. That'll be interesting for me to see. So yeah, you literally just bash for the 2, put a blocker behind him, build to the second 2, bash through that, build to the third 2, bash through that, and that's it. Please tell me why this is so late in the tricky rating. Like, seriously. I don't know. It could be that they're giving us briefer levels, because the next few levels after this are pretty tough. Alright, well that was an easy level out of the way. However, very appropriate music for this. The most intense music accompanying all the 6s level. Alright, so level 22, we're back to the fun repeats. Turn around, young Lemmings. Obviously, we're not going to have a blocker this time. We're going to have to find another way to turn them around. Oh look, we've got bombers. So we're going to make that Lemming a bomber. We're going to leave a gap of Whoops. That was a big mistake-itty. Okay. I made that next, the second bomber a bomber. I made him a bomber too late. Alright, make a gap with 2 lemmings, make him a bomber. Alright. So 2 lemmings are going to escape. And yes, alright. That trapped the lemmings and they can walk back. Those 3 are going to die, but we can afford to kill them. Pretty awesome solution, if I will do say so myself. Ooh, the next level is also a good level. It's another repeat, and it's another gold pillar level. Level 23 is From the Boundary Line, another infamous level, because this is one of those levels... Actually, this is one of the only levels where you actually just have to let a huge amount of your lemmings die, and lemmings players aren't used to doing that. So we've got 100 lemmings, we only have to save 60%. That's just enough. So we don't have any blockers, and we don't have any way of penning these lemmings in. We could use a digger, but then we can't solve the level. So we basically make him a basher, and a ton of lemmings are going to turn around and die. That's going to be all the lemmings we can afford to let die. Alright, so we make him a builder. You'll remember in the fun version of this level, that's going to be just not enough to get him out of the pit. So instead what we're going to do is make this guy a climber. So they're all stuck. This is where you absolutely need hotkeys. Because what we're going to have to do is, this guy, the climber is going to climb up this ledge, we're going to have him dig, and then immediately bash. Doing so will make it just enough of a difference so that the lemmings will climb up, but you have to do it immediately, otherwise he's just going to continue bashing and he won't make it into the exit. So F8 is the basher hotkey. Yep. I remember I actually solved this level all by myself when I was like 6 years old. I was so proud of myself. Alright, let's see. I think there's time to squeeze in one more level. We have made amazing progress in this episode. So level 24, Tightrope City. It's another breather level. There's 80 lemmings, 93% to be saved, an 85 release rate, only 2 minutes. This is probably the first level where you're actually on a time crunch. And we're back to Paco Bell's Cannon. Max out the release rate. Oh, this is another level. You gotta build over the blocker. The floor is too thin otherwise. It's all super easy though. So once we start building, since we're on such a time crunch, we're actually gonna build the lemmings out of here. I'm gonna have a lemming going to the left right at that blocker just to make sure he gets enough height to go over that blocker. Judging by the minimap, he was successful. Normally I'd worry whether they're going to make it in time, but they're absolutely going to make it in time. Look at that. We have almost, we have more than 30 seconds to spare. Alright, that was a really short level, but I think I'm going to leave it there, because the last 6 levels of Tricky are pretty difficult. Actually, that's not true. I just lied there. Level 28 is an absolute joke. But the rest are pretty tough. So I'm Colorful Arty. Hope you're enjoying the Lemmings series so far. Tune in next time when we finish the tricky levels. And after that, we'll be on the taxing rating. And that's where the levels really start getting hard. So hope you guys are having a great day wherever you are. And God bless.